소리가 안 나죠? 왜 소리가 안 날까? 예전에 그 주에 아, 소리가 안 나는구나. 당연하지.
How many times have I told you that there's...
How many times have I told you? 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 How many times have I told you?
Actually, you called me in here. But, yeah.
Well, let me show you how it's done. How it's done. Well, let me show you how it's done. Well, let me show you how it's done. Well, let me show you how it's done.
Alright, well, let me show you how it's done.
Alright, well, let me show you how it's done. Alright, well, let me show you how it's done.
Alright, well, let me show you how it's done.
How it's done. Alright, let me show you how it's done. Alright, let me show you how it's done. Alright, let me show you how it's done. 증거를 들이댔을 때 칼이 뭐라고? 아우, 패스 안 했나?
Carl saying when you confronted him. Yoga.
아, confronted him. 이것 때문에 안 했구나. So what did Carl say when you confronted him? When you confronted him? When you confronted him?
Limp ones aren't that ethical. This is half the reason I joined the NRA. Well, started going to those medical conferences. I wanted in the back of his mind that he had a loving wife at home with a loaded... Started going to those medical conferences. I wanted in the back of his mind that he had a loving wife at home with a loaded... And Wesson. Lenny, Tom's always away on business. Do you ever worry he might? Started going to those medical conferences. I wanted in the back of his mind that he had a loving wife at home with a loaded and Wesson. Lenny, Tom's always away on business. Relationship with her husband was considerably cooler.
아, 또 기억 안 나. 아. I want you to, 아, 뭐, 크리티컬인가 뭐지? 아, 정말 머리 안 좋은데. I want you to 무슨 리 mention how much I paid for your necklace.
To Mason at this thing.
아,
I want you to casually mention how much I paid for your necklace.
What did
I want you to casually mention how much I paid for your necklace. I want you to casually mention how much I paid for your necklace. I want you to casually mention how much I paid for your necklace. I want you to casually mention how much I paid for your necklace. I want you to casually mention how much I paid for your necklace. I want you to casually mention how much I paid for your necklace.
relationship with her husband was considerably cooler.
To Mason at this thing. I want you to casually mention how much I paid for your necklace.
What did I
want you to. I want you to.
relationship with her husband was considerably cooler.
To Mason at this thing. I want you to casually mention how much I paid for your necklace.
What did I
시가 거의 안 들리네. I want you to casually mention how much I paid for your necklace. I want you to casually mention how much I paid for your necklace. I want you to casually mention how much I paid for your necklace. I want to casually mention how much I paid for your necklace. I want to casually mention how much I paid for your necklace. I want to casually mention how much I paid for your necklace. 좀 더 침착하게. I want you to casually mention how much I paid for your necklace. I want you to casually mention how much I paid for your necklace. I want you to casually mention how much I paid for your necklace. I want you to casually mention how much I paid for your necklace. Casually mention. Casually mention. When you What did Carl say when you confronted him?
Carl say when you
What did
confronted
Carl?
him. Yoga.
What did Carl say when you confronted him? 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 What did Carl say when you confronted him?
Carl say when you confronted him. Yoga.
When you confronted him. Confronted him. What did Carl say when you confronted him? What did Carl say when you confronted him? 에이,
And the receipt to my chest.
He let me know how much he paid for his wife's new convertible. Look, just working, just look, just working, just work it, just work it naturally. work it into the conversation.
Yeah, just work that in, Carlos.
Why not?
Just work it into the conversation. 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 Just work it into the conversation.
Lenny, Tom's always away on business. Do you ever worry he might?
The man's gotten me pregnant 3 times in 4 years.
Yes, the man's gotten me pregnant 3 times in 4 years.
Amber, I think she's been shot. There's blood everywhere. Yes.
You got to send an ambulance. You got to send one right now.
You've got to send an ambulance. You've got to send one right now.
You got to send an ambulance. You got to send one right now. You got to send an ambulance. You got to send one right now.
Face them head on, that's when we find out just how strong we really are.
But if we can't face them head on, that's when we find out just how strong we are, how strong we really are. What if we can't face them head on? That's when we find out just how strong we really are. What if we can't face them head on? That's when we find out just how strong we really are. When we find out just how strong we really are. What if we can face them head on?
Face them head on, that's when we find out just how strong we really are.
Face them head on. What if we can face them head on? That's when we find out just how strong we really are. What if we can face them head on? That's when we find out just how strong we really are.
Face them head on, that's when we find out just how strong we really are.
This is when we start. This is when we find out. This is when we find out. This is when we find out just how strong we really are.
At the Donahue party, everyone was talking mutual funds, and you found a way to mention you slept with half the Yankee outfield.
I'm telling you.
I'm telling you. Oh, the context of this and the conversation in there. It just came up in the context of the conversation. It just came up in the context of the conversation. It just came up in the context of the conversation.
I'm up in the context of the conversation.
I'm telling you, it came up in the context of the conversation. I'm telling you, it came up in the context of the conversation. I'm telling you, it came up in the context of the conversation.
Face them head on, that's when we find out just how strong we really are. Saying Paul wants us to go over on Friday. He needs us to go through Mary Alice's closet and help pack up our things. He said he can't.
I was just saying Paul wants us to go over on Friday. He needs us to go through Mary Alice's closet and help pack up our things.
Enough in the context of the conversation.
Hey. Oh, look. Hey. People start to stare. Please keep your voice down, please. Hey, people start to stare. Keep your voice down, please.
Starting to stare. Can you keep your voice down, please?
Can you keep
Absolutely.
your voice
I
down,
wouldn't
please?
want them to think we're not happy.
Hey, people starting to stare. Can you keep your voice down, please? Hey, people starting to stare. Can you keep your voice down, please? Hey, people are starting to stare. Can you keep your voice down, please? Hey, people are starting to stare. Can you keep your voice down, please? Hey, people are starting to stare. Can you keep your voice down, please? Please. Hey, people are starting to stare. Can you keep your voice down, please?
Enough in the context of the conversation.
People are starting to stare. Can you keep your voice down, please?
Absolutely.
Can you keep
I wouldn't
your
want them to
voice
think
down,
we're not
please?
happy.
Saying Paul wants us to go over on Friday. He needs us to go through Mary Alice's closet and help pack up our things. He said he can't face doing it by himself. Sure, that's fine. Are you?
But he can't face doing it by himself. He said he can't face doing it by himself. He said he can't face doing it by himself. Face doing it by himself. He said he can't face doing it by himself. He said he can't face doing it by himself.
Saying Paul wants us to go over on Friday. He needs us to go through Mary Alice's closet and help pack up our things. He said he can't face doing it by himself. Sure, that's fine. Are you?
He said he can't face doing it by himself. He said he can't face doing it by himself. Of course. I will need that basket back. I will need that basket back when you're done. Of course, I will need that basket bag when you're done. Of course, I will need that basket bag when you're done.
Of course, I will need the baskets back once you're done.
Once you're done. Of course, I will need the basket bag once you're done. Of course, I will need the basket bag once you're done. Of course, I will need the basket bag once you're done. Of course, I will need the basket bag once you're done. I will need the basket bag once you're done. I will need the basket bag once you're done. Of course, I will need the basket bag once you're done. Of course, I will need the basket bag once you're done.
So angry. If Mary Alice was having problems, she should have come to us. She
should have come to us. She should have come to us. I'm just angry. I was having problems. She should have come to us. 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 Oh, she should have come to us.
so angry. If Mary Alice was having problems, she should have come to us. She
should have come to us. She should have come to us. She should have come to us. She should have come to us. She should have come to us. Should have come. Should have come. Should have. She should have come to us. 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 She should have. She should have come to us. She should have come to us. She should have come to us. She should have come.
so angry. If Mary Alice was having problems, she should have come to us. She
너무 빠르죠.
All of a sudden, the phone starts to ring.
No, I don't know what to do. Everybody starts to looking at me.
Now I don't know what to do. Everybody starts looking at me.
No, I don't know what to do. Everybody starts looking at me. No, I don't know what to do. Everybody starts looking at me.
so angry. If Mary Alice was having problems, she should have come to us. She could have let us help her.
What kind of problems could she have had? She was help.
She should have let us help us. She should have let us help her. What kind of problems could she have had? 어우, 야. 어우, 힘들어. 아우야. 깜짝이야. 와, 맨날 죽어. 맨날 죽어요. 맨날 죽어요. 왜 이랬지? 이상하네. 맨날 연락이야. 아닌 것 같은데. 많이 줄었어.
Oh yeah, that looks really cute, sweetheart.
Hey.
No.
No, it's way too short. People... Oh, 깜짝이야. People know you're a girl. You don't have to prove it to them.
It's way too short. People know you're a girl. You don't need to prove it to them.
You don't need to prove it to them. You don't need to prove it to them. You don't need to prove it to them. You don't need to prove it to them. You don't need to prove it to them. We've been dating for 4 months. I think it's too soon to meet the parents.
You've been dating for 4 months, and I think that's too soon to meet her
I
parents.
think that's too soon. We've been dating for 4 months, and I think that's too soon to meet the parents. We've been dating for 4 months, and I think that's too soon to meet the parents. We've been dating for 4 months, and I think that's too soon to meet her parents. We've been dating for 4 months, and I think that's too soon to meet her parents. We've been dating for 4 months, and I think that's too soon to meet her parents. We've been dating for 4 months, and I think that's too soon to meet her parents. We've been dating for 4 months, and I think that's too soon to meet her parents. We've been dating for 4 months, and I think that's too soon to meet her parents. We've been dating for 4 months, and I think that's too soon to meet her parents. We've been dating for 4 months, and I think that's too soon to meet her parents.
And the receipt to my chest.
He let me know how much he paid for his wife's new convertible. Look, just work it into the conversation. work it into the conversation.
Wait, I can just work that in, Carlos.
Why not?
I think it's too soon to meet your parents.
I'm not comfortable with it. Can you respect that?
I'm not comfortable with it. Can you respect?
Oh, 좋아.
So angry. If Mary Alice was having problems, she should have come to us. She should
ask help.
have let us help her.
What kind of problems could she have had? She was help.
She should have let us help her. 너무 넘겼던
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. My mistake.
Oh, there was a woman I was talking to. She had a very low voice.
That was a woman I was talking to. So, she had a very low voice.
There was a woman I was talking to. She had a very low voice. There was a woman I was talking to. She had a very low voice.
Should have let us help her.
What kind of problems could she have had? She was healthy, had a great home, a nice family. Her life was our life.
They go, God, we've never worked in a place like this before. You're hilarious. And you get the best out of us.
Pretty much. I think it pretty much sums up. I think that is pretty much sums it up. Yeah.
I think that pretty much sums it up.
I think that pretty much sums it up. I think that pretty much sums it up. I think that pretty much sums it up.
She had a great home, a nice family. Her life was our life. If Mary Alice was having some sort of crisis, we'd have known.
Whether they can pay for it, and
I'm just boring myself. I was talking to.
I'm boring myself just talking about this.
I'm boring myself just talking about this. I'm boring myself just talking about this. I'm boring myself just talking about this. I'm boring myself just talking about this. I'm boring myself just talking about this. I'm boring myself just talking about this. I'm boring myself just talking about this. Talking about this. Talking about. I'm boring myself just talking about this. 이게 왜 발음이 안 돼? I'm boring myself just talking about this. Talking about.
I'm boring myself just talking about this.
Just talking about this. Talking about this.
I'm boring myself just talking about this. Self 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 just talking about this.
Just talking about this. Just talking about this. Just talking about this. Just talking about this. Just talking about this. Just talking about this. Just talking about this. Just talking about this. I'm boring myself just talking about this. 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 I'm boring myself just talking about this. I'm boring myself just talking about this. I'm boring myself just talking about this. Talking about this. 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 Talking 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 about this.
I'm
Talking
boring
about this.
myself just talking about this.
I'm boring myself just talking about this. 오! I'm boring myself just talking about this. 괜찮았어. I'm boring myself just talking about this. I'm boring myself just talking about this. 오, 괜찮았어. 와, 이거 했었나?
Face them head on, that's when you find out just how strong we really are.
했었잖아. 와, 됐어. Corporate doesn't interfere. Corporate doesn't interfere. Corporate doesn't interfere at all.
Corporate really doesn't interfere with me at all. Jan Levittson Gould.
Corporate really doesn't interfere with me at all. Corporate really doesn't interfere with me at all. Interfere with me. Interfere with me.
Corporate really doesn't interfere with me at all. Jan Levittson Gould doesn't interfere with me at all. Doesn't interfere with me at all. Really doesn't interfere with me at all. Really doesn't interfere with me at all. It 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 really doesn't interfere with me at all.
Corporate really doesn't interfere me at all. Corporate really doesn't interfere me at all. Corporate really doesn't interfere me at all.
The woman killed herself. Something must have been going on.
Just refuse to believe that anybody can screw up macaroni and cheese. It tastes like it's burned and undercooked.
Burned and undercooked. Undercooked. 그래? It tastes like it's burned and undercooked. 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 It tastes like it's burned and undercooked.
It tastes like it's burned and undercooked.
It tastes like it's burned and undercooked. It tastes like it's burned and undercooked. It tastes like it's burned and undercooked. It tastes like it's burned and undercooked.
Saying Paul wants us to go over on Friday. He needs us to go through Mary Alice's closet and help pack up our things. He said he can't face doing it by himself. Sure, that's fine. Are you...
He said he can't face doing it by himself. He said he can't face doing it by himself.
I'm Mike Delfino. I just started renting the Sims house next door.
I just started renting the Sims house next door. Plus,
children's books.
Yeah, I'm very big with the under 5 set.
What?
Everybody's saying that I brought something. I should probably just throw this out.
Now that everybody's seen that I brought something. Plus,
I said you could go by the pool.
I'm so angry. If Mary Alice was having problems, she should have come to us.
she should have come to us. Listen.
You three plan this? All right. That's it. Get out.
Yes.
Mother, you have to do what I say. Come on.
We were swimming. You can't stop us.
You have to do what I said. What?
Mother, you have to do what I say. Come on.
We were swimming. You can't stop us.
That shouldn't have been so concerned about my husband. That shouldn't have been so concerned about my husband. Other things on his mind. Things below the surface. Other things on his mind. Things below the surface. After my funeral, my friends and neighbors quietly went back to their busy, busy lives. Did their yoga. Others did their homework.
Julie, I kicked my soccer ball into your backyard.
I kicked my soccer ball into your backyard.
Stay in LA, but there were too many memories. He's running for tax purposes, but he hopes to buy a place real soon. I can't believe.
He wanted to stay in LA, and there were too many memories. He's renting for tax purposes, but he hoped to buy a place real soon.
Stay in LA, but there were too many memories. He's running for tax purposes, but he hopes to buy a place real soon.
I can't believe you went over there.
Hey, I saw you both flirting at the wake. You're off.
You was floating at the wake. Floating at the wake. Also, you was floating at the wake. I can't believe you went over there. I can't believe you went over there. Hey, I saw you was floating at the wake.
Stay in LA, but there were too many memories. He's running for tax purposes, but he hopes to buy a place real soon.
I can't believe you went over there.
Hey, I saw you both flirting at the wake. You're off.
Floating at the wake.
You went over there.
Hey, I saw you both flirting at the wake. You're obviously into each other. Now that you know he's single, you can ask him out.
Julie?
You're obviously into each other. Now that you know he's single, you can ask him out. Ask him out.
Obviously into each other. Now that you know he's single, you can ask him out.
Julie, I like Mr. Delfino. I do. I don't even know if I'm ready to start dating yet.
Ugh.
Oh my goodness.